Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the dungeon. My name is Robin, and today is Flameworking 102.73, a Mandrel twist. There's so many techniques out there that I have yet to try, and this is one of them. I don't know why I never tried it in the first place, but it's adding all of your pattern directly to the mandrel first, and then getting all of the rest of the glass on top. It's really simple, and it just adds to the depth that you can get with the glass. I'm going to dive right into making the zanfirico cane first, and then we'll make the bead. So with that said, I hope you're all doing safe and well out there. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time in the dungeon. All right, let's go ahead and dive right into this cane. I am going to start out with a little bit of the intense black. And I'm using this for the center of the cane because when you stretch it out, the intense black from Effetri or the Tuxedo by CIM, it pulls, it's just a really dense black, and it will pull out nice and black, not purple like the Effetri 064 black does, even though that's my favorite black. But this one is just so dense and works out great for this cane. So I'm just going to add a little bit more glass on here, and I'm just going to roll it out. And when you roll out a bit of glass on a mandrel, it can tend to want to travel kind of awkwardly back and forth. So you just want to be gentle and try to, elongate it a little bit and straighten it out. And now I want to start adding my first clear coat. And I am using a 7mm rod here. So it goes by pretty quickly, this first wrap of glass. And I will also add some right to the mandrel, the puntee as well in a minute here, because there's not a whole bunch attached to the glass. So here's my second round of wraps. And I want to make sure that this package of glass has enough space in between the black cane and the white cane on top. Your black does not have to be this thick. It can be much thinner. And here I am trying my best to roll it out. The way the glass travels is kind of awkward. It will travel faster than you want it to. So you just want to be careful when you're rolling these out. And so, yeah, I'm going to get a little bit of glass there on the bottom. So my puntee has a bit more glass stuck to it. And I do need it bigger, so we're going to add one more encasement all the way around. And I'm just heating my glass up and getting a nice gather so I can then swipe and drag it across the glass, overlapping a little bit as I go. And now I think that's about all I'm going to get here. So let me go ahead and shape this up. And I'll show you the thickness there. That's kind of what I'm looking for. It can be thicker though. It just depends on what your personal preference is. So now I have some of the white, just a stringer. And here is funny because my camera moved. I bumped my camera and it moved so far that this all ended up being in the very corner of my camera view. So I had to. I was just glad that I still had it in the frame. Anyway, I'm laying down 4 strips of white. And that's just a 2mm 204 white stringer. And now I want to heat everything up, but focus more on the front. And let me start to pull this out. And I'm going to pull the black out. Always pull the center out first, and the sides will follow. And because black is a very stiff color, you really want to make sure that that's pulled out. All right, now just making sure that everything goes right to that point. So when you go to pull the glass out, it will be much more even because, the glass is attached to both ends. Now this end, I could have taken that punty off, but instead I chose to just pull the rest of the white onto the mandrel just to make sure it was going to stick. And then I just puntied up the other side. Now we are ready to roll it out one more time, smooth things out on that other end. And now we're ready to go ahead and start pulling out this cane. And to get that really, really super tight twist that I have, what you need to do is you need to start twisting in the flame. And you want to do your best not to get any of the twists to touch each other. All right, now that everything is twisted up real nice, I'm going to continue twisting and pulling and twisting and pulling. And this is all I could get in my camera. So what I end up doing here is I come out of the camera view and keep twisting. And then when everything is cool, I'll go back in and start to maybe twist a little bit more. You get a thinner diameter rod, but that is our zanfirico cane that we're going to use. All right, wow, let's get right into it then. So here's the new technique. It's so simple. It's silly. So I'm just going to add my cane right to the mandrel. It doesn't have to be cane though. You could add dots to the mandrel. You could add stripes to the mandrel. You could add little swipes of glass here and there on the mandrel, and they don't even need to touch. All you have to do is encase it with more glass. So here I'm just traveling up and down the mandrel in about a 1/2 inch length. And I'm trying to get the cane to kind of twist around itself and, maybe overlapping. I'm hoping to see a whole bunch of layers inside. Now, once I have that twisted up, and I always say it's personal preference, but you don't have to use that much cane. You can use a small amount of cane if you want. Either way, once I have my pattern on the mandrel, I'm going to very gently pat it down a little bit, roll it out with my knife, and just take care to shape everything up and get it rounded out. I'm not worried about my edges being sharp or anything because we're going to be adding color on top of it. And a little bit more on the side there. This little bit here doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. It can have some movement and texture to it. It can be a little bumpy. All right, when you are ready and you like what is going on with your pattern, let's go ahead and start to get some glass on top. And I'm going to start out slightly on the mandrel here. I'm kind of overlapping the mandrel and the cane. And this is a very light blue transparent, one of the lightest colors. And the next one, and I'm just giving it 2 wraps. This next color is the lavender transparent. It's kind of a strange color, but I enjoyed using it today. And I'm just butting that up against the blue and wrapping twice. And then this last color is called Sweet Peach. And I've never used it before. I just got it a couple months ago. And I just thought it was a very light transparent. And that's what I was looking for because I don't want to make it so dark that you can't see the pattern. So I'm using some of the lightest transparent colors that I have. And if you don't have any very light transparents, then clear is your perfect choice. Here, I'm just heating up my sides and shaping them up a little bit with my butter knife. I'm going to heat and shape my sides up first, and then I'll go ahead and round everything out. Now, as I'm heating this up and gently rounding things out, rolling them out, I'm also thinking about the way that these colors are laid down. And when they are laid down next to each other, it doesn't matter if it's a transparent or an opaque, you will see the line, the definition line between the two colors. Now I want to get this a little bit bigger, so let's add more color. I'm going to go ahead and add another wrap of the blue. And I don't worry about, getting it close to the mandrel here. I'm just adding it as a wrap around the blue. And then we'll get back into the lavender. The lavender it's kind of an odd color because it looks slightly different depending on what light you were in. It can be a darker violet or it can be a slightly lighter. But I think that these three colors worked out fairly well together. I have been looking for this sweet peach color for a long time, and they finally had it in. I probably got it I think I ordered last year. But I was lucky. I was happy to be able to play around with the peach. Okay, now we're going to do our final rounding. So the transparent colors can be on the stiff side. And I really need to coax them. I don't want to overheat the transparents because sometimes transparents will just boil or sparkle a little bit. And I something about the surface if you get it too close to the torch head. So I do try to kind of do some heating out further in the flame. Anyway, right here, I am just pulling my edges down all the way to the mandrel. I'm not touching the mandrel, I just get it really close. The reason why I don't want it to touch the mandrel is because the glass that's already touching the mandrel looks fine. I don't need, it doesn't need any more color down there. All right, here I am just shaping everything up. Oh yes, so what I was saying earlier is that you can see the line in between both colors. It's not like when you lay down transparents, they'll bleed into each other and, give you a really nice fading in and out to another color look. So what I did in order to kind of change it a little bit, I wanted to give the illusion of more of an ombre effect. So after I heat it up and let it cool down, and this is about almost an inch wide. After I let it cool down and the whole bead is nice and not moving, then I'm going to go ahead and start heating my surface and adding some twists in between each color where they meet. And when you heat up the glass, you can see where the colors touch each other. So that's the point where I am introducing the clear stringer and then doing my plunge and twist. And I am not pushing into the glass here. All I am doing is just gently trying to swirl the surface of the glass. If you go too deep, you could destroy your pattern underneath. So I'm just looking to swirl the two top colors and these two bottom colors together. And at the end, you can definitely see this kind of watercolor effect from where the glass was twisted, but you can still see through it to the bottom. And that's what was the most important to me. So here at the end, I'm just going to finish rolling this out. It's going to take me a second because the transparents are on the stiff side. So I'm going to get further out in my flame and just take my time, be patient, and wait for it to round out. And I do use the marvering pad a little bit just to help me out. The mandrel twist. And no, it's not. It sounds like a cocktail, doesn't it? I'll take a mandrel twist, please. All right, you guys, let me know what you think about this one. I hope you all enjoyed. And I will see you next time in the dungeon.